Hey, what's up? This is Frank, House of Orange, Sports Channel impromptu video, moving day for old Frank to the AVL. But you know, when it comes time to make a video, we got to make a video. And been talking about it the whole time. Been hitting this portal, trying to hit it pretty hard with Tennessee basketball. The big one, Tennessee's #1 target is in the fold. Jacoby Gillespie has committed to Tennessee. It was a lot of schools were making contact. I'd seen differing things on this where it said that, maybe he waits till after the dead period to take a visit. Dead period began yesterday, goes through next week. But Tennessee was in Wednesday. They went up to Maryland. The entire staff met with him, and they was able to lock that one down. So this is a big start for Tennessee because their biggest need, obviously, is guards on this team and wings. And so you get Jacoby Gillespie in the fold. Just a little shy of 15 points per game at Maryland last year. 40% free three-point shooter, over 40% field goal shooter as well. That is what Tennessee needs, and what impresses me about what they're doing in the portal. Or I say impresses me. I like the guys they're going after because they're going after shooting. Now, it did come up. They're going after Carey for Vanderbilt possibly. And but he's a 6'8", 245 guy. I think you need a guy like that. I mean, Tennessee found out he's a really good player when we played him both times. So, but you got Gillespie in the fold. Of course, didn't get Isaac McNeely, but there'll be more. And now you have, Tennessee basically they finally have enough for a team, I guess you could say, for the most part. But you got 3 freshmen. You still got Okpara, Phillips, Estrella, and Boswell coming back. You got the 3 freshmen, Evans, Brown, Bowen and Henderson coming in. Now you got Gillespie, that's 8. You could have up to 7 more scholarships available. Guards, there's been plenty of names mentioned. Donovan Atwell, UNC Greensboro. Lamar Wilkerson, Sam Houston State. Rodney Rice, Maryland. Sebastian Mack, UCLA. That's the 4. The first 3 I mentioned are the main ones I've seen. But I did see Mack mentioned a little bit that Tennessee may Zoom with him to see where they're at with it as well. But just a good pickup a great pickup for Tennessee, and it was some much needed news because I can assure you, if he would have started taking visits, you were going to get some Vol Nation freak out going on. That's just the way it was going to be. But fortunately, he's in the fold. And now you can start to build around him. You've got your point guard. You have your big guys. And that's barring that nobody hits the transfer portal from Tennessee. I've seen rumors out that teams are back channeling, seeing what it would take to get Felix Okpara. So in this day and age, you never know. And I haven't seen anything where it says he's imminently leaving or watch for him to go or anything like that. But it's just a case of, I think in this, as I've seen it termed numerous times, Wild Wild West, Tennessee, and any teams, you got to be on the lookout at any time. Dan Hurley at UConn, he talked about it before the season was out, how some of his players probably have offers, probably already know what school they're going to in the portal. That's how hectic this thing is for coaches, and I can't really imagine how it is. And you take like a McNeely, who left earlier this week, and Tennessee gets the last visit. It was said they felt good about it, and then he ends up committing to Louisville along the way. It happens. It's a portal because it's going to go back and forth, and values are going up as well. And it's hard to tell how much that NIL they had to pay for Gillespie, but you know what? Sometimes you got to play the game. And, if you're trying to get by with just getting discounts all the time, it's kind of like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's not going to work out too well. So we're off and running now. We've got 8. We're running. We're going. And so now you still need wings. You still need more shooting. You can't just... Here's where I hope they don't make the mistake. Here is just getting a guy and then building around him with it. With just kind of... what would I say, role players who may have a good game one night and the next night they're non-existent. The big thing you got to look out for is that you need shooters. You need shooters, and I'm sorry for the cars driving by. I'm having to record in a Target parking lot here right now. But I'm going to wrap this thing up here in just a moment. Just wanted to get this out here because this is one that I've tried to stay on top of from the get-go. And a little bit later than I wanted to be with it, but, you know, it is what it is right now. But you build around it. If you can get some of these guards I've mentioned to go with him, you get Carey from Vanderbilt, for instance, you're starting to put together a real good team. And I'm going to say it again on here because I still see a lot of the chatter about, well, this fifth year getting passed. It is not getting passed on Monday. That hearing has nothing to do with the fifth year on it. And if it does get passed the earliest it would get passed, they've said, is in the summer. That's not going to affect these guys. Unfortunately, Ziegler, Gainey, Meshack, and these guys, their eligibility is up at Tennessee. And I would happily eat crow, but at this point, Tennessee's not holding spots for these guys, as some people are saying. They are done. They are gone. They are out of eligibility. And I'll take that to the bank as well on it, because everything I've legitimately read, not for some message board or anything like that, everything legitimate when the hearings is going to be, the people who actually cover this stuff say it's not anywhere near happening, and if or when it does, it is not going to have an effect on the class who just finished. It may have an effect next year possibly, but not on this year's. So we'll stay tuned on that one. As I don't think it's anything to stay tuned on, as a matter of fact. I think it's pretty much, it's cut and dry. It's not going to get passed in time to affect this past season's Tennessee roster. But really good day for Rick Barnes and company. Gillespie's in the fold now. When that dead period lifts next week, do they add more to the fold? Can they get a couple more guys in here as well? I'll wrap up on that one. This is Frank, House of Orange. Have a great day, and go Vols.